8th regular meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, please bless our meeting today. May our discussions be fruitful, our decisions wise, and our community strong. Amen.
Amen.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner McIntosh. Commissioner Beveridge.
Here.
Mr.
Yeah.
President,
Yes.
I'd make a motion to excuse Commissioner McIntosh from today's meeting.
I second that. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye. Before we begin public portion, I'd like to have Lisa Manning come on up and introduce our guests in the audience today.
We have a lot today, so we did put them into groups.
Okay.
Obviously, all of you know who I am. I'm Lisa Manning, and I oversee the 4-H Youth Development Program from OSU Extension. And I want to thank you for having us here this morning. This is the beginning or big kickoff for a very exciting week for 4-H. That's why we're here today. What you will see next week is just a fraction of what our youth have been working on all year long. We have kids here from all the various project areas. We have kids from saddle horse and livestock, small animal, shooting sports, and then we have our non-animal projects. Not all of them are here today, but that's what you will see at the fair. And like I said, our 4-H youth, our advisors, our parents have been working all year long. Not only do they work on their projects, which they're going to talk about today, but they do community service, they do fundraising, they do a lot of social activities that kind of builds up our camaraderie, which is what makes our 4-H like the best youth development program in the country and here in Lake County. It's like a 4-H family. So before I have the youth come up and talk about their projects, I just really want to thank you all for the support the commissioners provide not only to the OSU Extension, to our 4-H program. It is greatly, greatly appreciated, and we could not do it without you, so thank you very much. So I'm going to have our groups come up, and I think we're going to start with some of our older ones first, more experienced ones.
Good morning, Commissioner Plechnik and Beveridge. My name is Michael DeCola. This is Seamus Bly, and we're in Wings and Things. I'm 17 years old, and this is my 8th year in 4-H. I'm taking a steer to the fair this year, and his name is Jonah. And the auction takes MasterCard, Visa, American Express, checks, and cash.
Sure does.
Good morning. I'm Seamus. I'm also 17. This is my 8th year in 4-H. I have 2 lambs this year named Sniffy and Monkey. And one thing I've learned from 4-H is leadership. And probably one thing I like about the fair would be cheering on all of my club members and their shows.
Thank you. You're never going to believe this, Commissioner Plechnik, but I have bought one of young Michael's steers before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Emma Taylor, and I'm in Giddy Up, Whoa, and More 4-H Club. I am 16 years old, and this is my 8th year in 4-H. This year, I have 1 market steer named Snowball and 2 market pigs, Kit Kat and Andy. One thing I've learned from being in 4-H is the responsibility you have to take with these projects. It's definitely not an easy thing, and the responsibility it's taught me means the world to me. One thing I love about 4-H is the memories and the connections that I build with new people every single year.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jackson. My club name is Giddy Up Whoa, and this is my 4th year in 4-H. 12 my projects this year I am doing is 2 pigs and a steer. My pig's name are Fire Truck and Bertha. And then my cow's name is Wasabi. 4-H animals are the best for you because they are fed a non-hormone diet, all natural stuff that is good for you and tastes good.
Good morning.
Commissioners Plechnik and Beveridge. My name is Lily Peeler. I'm from the club Wings and Things. This is my 13th and final year in 4-H. I'm 19 years old this year. I'm taking 2 market lambs to the fair this year, Bink and Eunice, as well as 2 pens of market turkeys and 2 pens of market chickens. And my favorite part about being at the fair is seeing everyone's hard work all year come to fruition. We get to see each other's animals. We get to show how hard we have worked. And I just love seeing everyone else's hard work. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Quinn Doles. My club is Our Gang. This is my 2nd year in 4-H. In my projects, I have 1 steer named Manny, 1 goat named Diego, and 4 chickens come in. I have learned from 4-H how to take care of animals and what it's like to care for them. And one thing about 4-H that I like is getting to make friends.
Awesome. Commissioner Plechnik, I want to point out to you, when we talk about the quality of meats, young Quinn there can speak to the testament. Her steer last year was grand champion, which, by the way, has been made into hamburgers across the street at one of our local restaurants. And I can vouch that it is a legitimate burger. Also, one of my favorite stories that I tell often is Seamus pointed out that everybody kind of roots for everybody, right? Everybody works together. About 2-3 years ago, I watched Emma there. How old are you now? 14? 16, so she's probably 13 or 14, about 11 or 12 at night after, I think, the hog show, which is on Wednesday nights. And the steer show is usually, the beef show is usually on Thursdays. I watched her in the pen after everybody else had left with about 2 or 3 younger kids, helping them walk their steers around through the pen, helping the younger generation, even though she was 13, 14 at the time, helping the next generation of showmen in the ring come out and help everybody, trying to teach some pointers and some tips here and there. So, okay, sorry, please. Continue on.
Good morning, Commissioners Plechnik and Beveridge. Today I got my buddy Cameron with me. My name is Mark Ball. I'm in the Wings and Things 4-H Club, and this will be my last year in 4-H. This year I've got 2 pigs, Dolly and Kenny, named after Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, 1 lamb, Pickles, and I'm also bringing some turkeys and chickens. If you'd like to see us show our animals this year, we'll be showing the lamb show first on Tuesday at 9 a.m., the goat show Wednesday at 1 p.m., or Tuesday at 1 p.m., poultry show will be at 8 a.m. Wednesday, pig show will be at 5 p.m. Wednesday, and steer show on 10 p.m. Thursday, and we have a new thing called Super Showmanship that we're bringing back. That will be on 3 p.m. on Friday.
Good morning, Commissioners Plechnik, Beveridge. My name is Cameron Barnhill. I am in 2 clubs, North Coast Critters and Wings and Things. And this is my first official year of 4-H, but I've been in a Clover Bud for the last 2 years. This year I've raised 5 hogs, Maple, Spare Rib, Oreo, Crispy Bacon, and Baconator. I will also be bringing turkeys, market chickens, and my pet rabbit, Honey Bun. I have learned it is a big responsibility to care for your animals and to do your book all the way through the year. One thing I like about 4-H is I get to be in the fair, and it is super fun.
Thank you. Mark pointed out the showmanship. Typically, all the animals that they bring out, they do the showmanship first, and then they do the market. My first year going to the fair, I just came to the market and bid on animals that were in the auction, not understanding the level of commitment that goes into the showmanship component, and the respect I have for the young folks who take so much pride in the showmanship component of that show. The first year I got to watch the goats and the lambs, which is one style. And then the next year I got to watch the pig show, the hog show, and I was like, something tells me you're not going to be able to hold a hog's head upright like that for very long. And it's a whole different skill set and a whole different type of show. But it is fantastic to go and watch those shows and to really see. Those shows are when the kids are able to absolutely put all their displays on for all to watch. And I can't say that this is exactly what happened, but the fact that the beef show
is at 10 o'clock on a Thursday. May or may not have had something to do with the commissioners' meeting being moved up to 9 that day. So, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners Plechnik and Beveridge. My name is Mikey McDonald, and I'm in Wings and Things 4-H Club. I'm 14 years old, and I've been in 4-H for 6 years. I have 2 cows this year named Frosty and Smokey, and I have 1 lamb named Maximus. And I also have 2 pigs named Pudgy and Smudgy. Available at our auction this year are hogs, steers, heifers, chickens, turkeys, lambs, and goats. Don't want an entire animal? Let us know when you register and we can help you find somebody to split it with. You can also donate your animal to a charity like Salvation Army.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Sarah Dixon. I am a part of the club Legacy Livestock, and I am 16 years old. I have been a part of 4-H for 8 years, and this year I will be showcasing my steer Sebastian, 2 hogs, Toby and Tilly, my lamb Walter, and 2 pens of chickens. One thing I learned about 4-H is work ethic and routine. It takes a lot of work and routine to take care of these animals and get them ready for show and just ready for 4-H and everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners Plesnick and Beveridge. My name is Aiden Milo. I'm in the Club Legacy Livestock. I'm 15 years old, and this is my 7th year in 4-H. I have 1 steer this year. His name is Bug, and a pig named Steven, and turkeys and chickens. One reason why 4-H animals are going to be better than store-bought or non-4-H animals is because they get worked with every day and loved and fed in a better way that they would, so they're going to have less fat, and they're going to taste better.
Good morning, Commissioners Plechnik and Beveridge. My name's Cadence Linden, and I'm in Legacy Livestock. I'm 15, and I've been in 4-H for 6 years. My projects this year is my lamb named Bowie and my chickens and turkeys. And this year the auction is on Saturday, August 1st, and don't forget that we changed how we do the auction from last year. Registration opens at 11 a.m. The small animal auction starts at noon, and large animals start at 4 p.m. Thank you.
So I have to point out, I went and visited Aiden and his sister and saw their animals. They do a great job, take a lot of pride. Your sister was queen last year, even though she's not queen this year. I hope you understand you're still a prince, right? The title continues on in perpetuity. So.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Maddie McDonald. I'm in Wings and Things 4-H Club. I'm 14, and this is my 7th year in 4-H. This year, my projects are my steer named Wyatt, my 2 pigs named Angela and Nyla, and my goats named Tim and Harold. And if you buy a Grand Champion or Reserve Champion, you'll get your picture taken with the purchase project, and it'll be posted in many advertisements.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Macy McDonald. I am 14 years old, and this is my 6th year in 4-H. I am in the Wings and Things 4-H Club, and this year I am taking a steer named Taffy, 2 pigs named Trixie and Tyler, and my favorite thing about fair is watching people show and getting to show myself and watching how happy people are when they win and watching how happy people are when they see their friends win as well. It's very amazing to watch.
Good morning, Commissioners Plechnik and Beveridge. My name is Elise Linden, and I'm in Legacy Livestock. I am 13 years old, and this is my 3rd year showing livestock. This year I am bringing 2 goats named Kevin and Veda to the fair with 2 pens of turkeys and 2 pens of chickens. If you buy animals from our auction, you get to pick our processor, and food comes to you packaged just like in the store.
Good morning, Commissioners Beveridge and Plechnik. My name is Jillian Franz, and I'm in Legacy Livestock. I am 12 years old, and I've been in 4-H for 4 years. I am raising a goat and 2 pens of chickens. The goat's name is Dandy, as in dandelion. And my favorite thing about 4-H is watching the shows, because watching the shows is like watching people on how they train their animals, and also a learning experience.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, a couple things to point out. we're going to have to talk about this with all 4-H youth moving forward. As I understand it, we have 96 pens of chickens this year.
I know we're up like probably 70 lots in general, like
Yeah.
with all the animals across
yeah.
the thing. Yes, we have lots.
96 pens of chickens, by my math, is about 196 chickens that need sold. And I believe we also have 54 pens of turkeys. That means that's 108 turkeys. So the beautiful part about the auction is when you do the poultry, whether it's the chickens or the ducks or the turkeys, it's nice and simple. You just bid, swipe that credit card, Visa, MasterCard, whatever it takes, write a check, give them cash, they don't care. And then it's automatically processed for you. It comes shrink wrapped and it's nice, and they show up with your, tell you where to deliver it. It comes basically already frozen. I went to another county fair and it's nice, but they come fresh. So I had to figure out how to wrap and freeze and keep a 40-pound turkey until Thanksgiving, because I don't need a 40-pound turkey right now.
Right.
So the poultry how they handle it is amazing. How they do it. Now, the other thing I want to point out is which steer was it last year? It was one of you two. Yep. So I had the privilege of also buying her shorthorn last year, and as I said before, the story goes that my father-in-law in 1968 won grand champion steer with his shorthorn. So I was happy to get that opportunity, and I know her dad back there has got a big old smile because he appreciates a good shorthorn too. So thank you.
Well, and the youth have buyer letters if they would like to present to.
Absolutely,
so
sure.
You guys
Do you have any buyer letters yet, Commissioner Pleshnik? Have you received any?
I've gotten a few.
A couple here and there, yes. So
It's part of the 4-H process is they have to write a letter and
Yep.
go talk to their buyers, and so there's lots of learning opportunities in 4-H. So again, thank you very much for having us today. We really appreciate your support today and all year long. So
awesome. Thank you.
You guys can go on up and hand me your buyer letters if you guys have buyer letters.
Come on up. Just mass chaos. Go.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I got you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, young man. First year. Good luck. Good luck.
Great
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Thank you. Good plan.
Thank you. We're good. Save it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you very much. Oh,
Good
look at
morning.
that. She brought her brothers. Nice.
I'm looking forward
Thank
to
you.
it.
Yep. We'll see you. See you Tuesday at 9 a.m.
And if all that wasn't enough incentive to come to August 1st on the fair, I want to share with everyone that Saturday, August 1st, is also America 250 Day at the fair, where we celebrate our semi-quincentennial, and we have free bobbleheads. So make sure before you go to show your animal or go to the auction that you grab one of the bobbleheads of Francis Jennings Casement and celebrate one of Lake County's own suffragettes.
All right. Thank you guys very much. I assure you, you don't have to sit here for the rest of the meeting. You're more than welcome to be dismissed if you want. Or in true 4-H fashion, if you want to know how the sausage is made, you can. I think you already know how the sausage is made.
You know a lot about 4-H. You may want to consider being an advisor at some point in time.
You let me know. You have my email address. All right. This brings us to public portion. Anybody wishing to address the board on agenda items only, please raise your hand, and you will have 3 minutes after stating your name and address. Anybody for public portion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please proceed with resolutions.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations, transferring appropriations, and transferring cash within various accounts for Lake County Department of Utilities, Water, Sewer, and Solid Waste Funds.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution authorizing advertising for request for proposals for hydrogeologic site evaluation for the Lake County Solid Waste Landfill expansion for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to promissory note for Wesley Village Limited Partnership related document number 2008 R026252.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to the promissory note for Wesley Village Limited Partnership related document number 2008 R026253.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to promissory note for Wesley Village 2 Limited Partnership related document number 1999 R0019068.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution authorizing the continuation of Lake County's junior loan position through the execution of the subordination and standstill agreement for Wesley Village 2 Limited Partnership.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution proposing to amend the November 27th, 1978 resolution establishing procedures, technical contents, and review fee schedule for site and grading plans in unincorporated areas of Lake County, Ohio, and setting the dates for a public hearing. The dates set are Thursday, August 6, 2026 at 9:45 a.m. and Tuesday, August 13, 2026 at 9:45 a.m. in the Lake County Commissioners' Chambers.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $9,168,999.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $931,995.51.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution increasing an appropriation for a non-general fund account.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Aye. This brings us to departmental reports. Utilities.
No report this week, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Job and Family Services.
Thank you, Commissioner. Wanted to mention that staff from Job and Family Services will be at the fair next week. We will have a booth on the main concourse, so I encourage members of the public to look for our staff and engage with them if they have questions about Job and Family Services and the programs that we offer at our agency. Also, I wanted to share that Job and Family Services will once again be sponsoring Kids Day at the fair, which is Thursday, July 30th. Thank you.
Thank you. County Administrator.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Before we have the Executive Director, CEO of Laketran here to give a brief presentation this morning on some projects that they're working on, or a project, I wanted to give a weekly update on the dog shelter and some continued movement there. We had this week, Joel's around, the Lake County Humane Society came and visited our facility to provide some training opportunities and assessment of the facility, some best management practices. So we appreciate Christian and his team, and as we continue to develop that relationship and foster that with the Humane Society. A couple other items we have heard about is the burial process and services. We've secured a contract for it. If and when we have to, unfortunately, put a dog down, we have proper burials. So we have a contract with a company who does those across Northeast Ohio. So I want to appreciate their participation. We also have actually 4 dogs that are going to be spayed and neutered early next week. That'll be up for adoption. We've heard about the spay and neuter concern, so that is moving forward. We've developed those relationships, increased those relationships. So a lot of positives on the operating side of things. Mechanically, parts have arrived for the system. While we have the HVAC system opened up, our internal crews are just giving the whole thing an overall physical, some additional valves and repair work. We've started to, that has started and we'll go through this week. And then we have to charge the system, test it, and hopefully next week the standard HVAC system will be up and running. In the meantime, all the temperatures have been great. We have the commercial temporary unit still in place on a monthly basis. So we continue to make good progress out there. I want to thank Joel and the commissioners and the staff out there and the public for the continued public input as we continue to work through those concerns.
Yeah. I know I had an opportunity here with Mr. Ifelice on Buildings and Grounds. The process of, now that the parts are in, fixing it, and the nitrogen that goes into the system and checking for leaks, and then have to clean everything out and then wait for this day and this day. But luckily we have that portable industrial size, so the temperatures have maintained, I believe, in the 70s. I don't think you've gotten anything in the 80s that we've heard of, right? Nope. So we've maintained our temperature in the 70s. Obviously, weather cooling off helps alleviate that as well. So thank you, I appreciate that update.
Yep.
So.
And if, with no further ado, without objection, I'd like CEO Ben Capel to give a brief presentation on some project that they're considering.
Mr. Capel, could sir please step up to the microphone?
Great to see you today, Commissioners. I did bring paper copies of my presentation just so you have it. If you want to throw it away later, that's up to you. But yeah, I asked Jason to come today because we are in a situation where we have to make a decision about how we move forward with cash and the collection of it. And I think it's a situation that could receive some criticism no matter what decision we make. So because of that, I thought it was important to come talk to you guys. Our board has not made a decision yet. I wanted to talk to you first and make sure if you had a strong feeling one way or another, I could communicate that to them. But basically, we collect cash like most transit systems do on board buses. We use a device called a fare box, and this is all predicated on the need to replace those. So we've been going through a process to evaluate what to do. We completed what's called a fare equity study, which is something required by the Federal Transit Administration. We did an onboard survey in June, and our board has had significant discussions the last couple months. Today, our local routes and park and ride buses have what's called an electronic fare box on it. That is the piece of equipment. We purchased them in 2009. They are past end of life, and the maintenance costs have gone up significantly, so we need to do something. We also have what's called a validator, which accepts electronic payments from phones. Soon it will take what's called open payments, where you'll be able to tap a credit or debit card on it. We also have vending machines that have been installed recently. They're in 4 locations in the community. There will be a 5th one out soon. Dial-A-Ride has been in a prepayment system since 2018, which means kind of like you book an airplane flight, you pay in advance, and when you book your flight, money is deducted from your account. We do allow Dial-A-Ride customers a free trip to headquarters to put cash on their account if they want to, so cash is still an option they can use to put in their account. Just so you understand the devices, a lot of this is kind of, I might get into transitese, so I apologize if I go a little deep sometimes, but I want to show you a picture. So on the buses, we have 2 devices. The fare box, which was purchased in 2009. New ones are $25,000 to $28,000 a piece. They accept cash and tickets, and they also print cards. The smaller device in the front we call a validator. That is what accepts phone payments, all the electronic payments we have. Those devices we purchased in 2020, and they were about $1,500, so much more affordable. The other thing to remember in our environment is it's not just collecting the cash on the bus, right? There's a lot of back-end work that goes on. So in our garage, we have 2 different types of vaults. There's a vault in the fare box that our vehicle servicer crew pulls out when they clean the buses. They put it into that slot in the wall, which deposits the funds into that orange box, which is in a secure room. And so there's a whole process that goes on behind the scenes. Anytime someone can actually touch the cash, there are 2 employees involved. Those employees are bonded. So there's a lot more than just the bus or the money that collects on the bus. The vault is the same age as the fare boxes. Obviously, we have to go through a procurement should we choose to replace those. It's about $100,000 to replace that vault. So you can kind of imagine costs add up pretty quick. We do have ticket vending machines for our local routes and fixed routes, and park and ride. Like I said, these are in 5 places throughout the county. These do accept cash. You can also load your account. So if you want to use cash, this is an option that you have along with the bus. There is also a component which is called Vanilla Direct, and this is a partnership that we have with our Easy Fare product, which is how you pay electronically. So at almost every retail location, like Dollar Generals, convenience stores, you can actually go in there and the clerk can load, you can take cash, give it to the clerk, and they can load it onto your account with us. So this is a map of all those locations throughout the county, so there are quite a few. And it's a program that is offered for a lot of different things, but it does allow people to deposit cash at like a Dollar General. So why are we here talking about this? This is not the most exciting topic, but we are considering, do we remove cash from the onboard environment of the bus? Not from Laketran as a whole, but do we continue to take it at the bus stop? And this is a decision that really is a sort of choose your own adventure. There's not a right or a wrong answer. And it's very much a, what do we think is the best case scenario? And we are kind of leaning in a direction, but I don't know that one has been made. Fare boxes, like I said, were purchased in 2009. Anytime you purchase a major federal asset that is involved in the transit world, the Federal Transit Administration has a stipulated minimum life for that asset. For fare boxes, it's 10 years. We have stretched them 7 years past their useful life so far, and probably another 1 to 2 years will be put on them before a final solution kind of is made. In 2025, we saw a spike in maintenance issues, and so this is why we brought the topic up to the board. We said, hey, we've pushed these as far as we can go. Maintenance costs are going up. So this is a chart of maintenance issues for fare boxes. You can see in 2016 we had roughly 400 a year, 417. It went down a little bit. That's when we introduced electronic payments on board park and ride buses. During the pandemic, we didn't collect fares for a while, but as you can see, post-pandemic, issues have gone up. Now, we did try to be more efficient in how we handle them, where the road call component was not handled by our maintenance department. It was handled by our road supervisors, which is a cheaper cost per hour of folks to deal with the issue. But as you can see, issues are up significantly, generating the need to make a decision about, do we replace them or do we do something else? As we've introduced Easy Fare, which is a way to pay for your bus electronically, our annual website sales have decreased significantly. This is where a lot of our park and ride customers used to purchase their fares. They would buy them on the website. We would mail them a pass. Those have dropped below $50,000 a year pretty reliably. So, just so we understand, and I'm going kind of fast, so if you have questions, feel free to shout out. So you understand how we handle cash. Customer puts money in the fare box. That bus comes back to the garage. A maintenance employee removes a vault from the fare box. They can't touch the cash at that time. They put it into a device in the wall, which takes the cash out of the little mini vault, puts it in the big vault. Our finance employees come remove the actual cash from that vault, count it, and it gets picked up by an armored car, takes to our bank account, and then our finance team reconciles the electronic reports from the fare boxes with the cash collected to make sure everything, from kind of cradle to grave is accounted for appropriately. So why are we thinking that we may want to remove fare boxes from the bus? It's not because we don't like cash. We don't have anything against cash. It is simply a discussion of economics, at least in our opinion. A new fare box per bus is $25,000 to $28,000. If we were to put them on all of our buses, both park and ride and local routes, the lowest cost we probably would see is about 1.78 or 1.75 million. That's just for equipment. That's before installation, training, maintenance, and all those things. And potentially another $100,000 for replacement vault. We don't know if we'd have to replace that or not. It would depend on the vendor that gets selected. So best case, we're at 1.75 million. Worst case, we're at around 2 million. That's before installation. So it's not a small chunk of change. Now, we can get grants for that and likely defray the local cost of that, but it still is taxpayers' dollars in the end, so we need to be, sort of careful with what our decision is. So fare collection. For 2026, we estimate to collect about $1.2 million in fares. That does not count contract revenue. Every person that rides a bus pays a fare, but sometimes that fare is paid for by other folks. We have a great contract with you guys that allows seniors to ride the bus for free. You guys pay us an amount behind the scenes. That's not an amount that's like collected up the fare box. Out of that amount, we expect to collect about $208,000 in actual cash. The rest of that is through our EasyFare app or credit cards or some other form of payment. So it's not a huge portion of fare revenue. Last year we collected $177,000 in fare revenue. Or not in fare revenue, excuse me, in cash. So that's kind of the history of where we're at with cash. We did the next step to understand from our customers, hey, how do you feel about cash? What do you think? Is this good or bad? This is the age group of the folks we surveyed. This was done by our Laketran staff over a week. So we got a broad perspective from different people. A lot of the questions we asked are, do you have access to a cell phone, a smartphone? Those are ways to pay for your fare. Do you have a data plan? Helps you be able to use it. Does your household have access to a credit or debit card? 88% said yes. There is another survey result which is a little in conflict with that one, which I thought was interesting. But how often do you use Laketran? Most of the people we surveyed are using it 5 days a week. How do you pay for your Laketran service? So right now, this is how people pay for us. 29% of people reported that they pay their fare with cash. Other folks used various different methods. EasyFare being the largest. That's our app you can get for your phone. You tap your phone on the bus, lets you ride, runs on that smaller device. So then we asked more detail. If you use cash, why do you use cash? Is it because you have to or any other reason? This is the one that I think is interesting that is also in conflict with that earlier part of the survey. The last one, I do not have access to cash, is purple, and you don't see it on the pie chart because, don't have access to a debit card because all of our respondents to the survey in this question said they do have access to a debit card. So one of the things that we are looking at doing, regardless of our decision of do we go forward with cash or not, is to add open payment, which allows you to tap your credit card on that cheaper device on the bus. It's on our board's agenda for August, so that is a feature that will be coming soon. You will not have to have an app. You can just walk up to the bus and tap a credit card and you'll be able to ride. But you can see 47% of people just prefer to use cash. In general, most of the folks choose to use cash because it's just a preference. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that's what they have preferred to choose to use. One of the things that happens when a fare box is out of service is it can cause the bus to have a disruption in service because someone has to come out and look at it and determine what needs to be done with that bus. So we asked people, what do you prefer? The ability to pay with cash or your service being more reliable because road calls are reduced, fare box issues are decreased? So you can see the spread here. 34% of people said they prefer the bus to be on time versus being able to pay cash. 28% said it's equally important. 17% said, I really think cash is important. We asked in the future, how do you plan to pay for your bus? And similar results here, 26% said they would prefer to continue paying with cash. So there's a lot of information really fast. I'm trying to be respectful of your time. EasyFare, again, is the electronic platform that we use to conduct payments. 70% of customers said that they could use a digital payment option. 20% said they don't want to. One of the interesting things we learned was that it's not, people prefer to use cash because they don't want to download an app. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't have access to a credit or debit card. And so we found one of the barriers is that folks they just don't want to download an app. So we're hoping that onboard open payment would allow that to not be a problem. They could just use their credit card. Again, cash for reliability. Anytime something breaks, someone has to attend to it. And as you saw, those go up. So customers generally prefer reliability over the cash component. So where are we now? What do we think we should do? Survey results tell us that digital payment is the majority of what customers are doing. And overall on-time performance is more important than onboard cash. But cash remains important. And so the challenge that we have is, do we spend $2 million in worst case, 1.7 best case, to continue to collect cash on board? when the amount of cash we collect each year is about $200,000. So over a 10-year period, you're essentially paying the same amount of money to collect cash as you are receiving. Now, cash is an important part of our society. We all, all of us use cash on a regular basis. So it puts us in a weird position, and it sort of makes it challenging to make a decision. And so obviously our board has been wrestling with this, but because of the nature of this decision, I really thought it was important, you're my boss's bosses, right? So I thought it was important to go quickly educate you guys as to where we are, but then see how you feel about it. Because obviously I wouldn't want my board to make a decision and then have the commissioners be like, what the heck, no one asked us, we disagree with this is bad, right? So our general staff recommendations, and this is one where my staff is like 49% one way, 50% the other. But our general recommendations that we are making to the board are that we prioritize digital fare collection and credit card fare collection. We're going to move forward with open payments, which allows you to tap a credit card on the bus in lieu of having an account. We do have to purchase a transfer printer for all the buses. That's I won't get into the details of that unless you ask me to. And then integrate all of our bank accounts into one bank account. So one of the challenges today is, you have your Easy Fare account you use to ride the fixed route, and you have another account for Dial-A-Ride. Why do you have two? We have to work on some tech to connect those together. But our general recommendation is to transition and sunset our fare boxes on the bus and move to a cashless on-board environment. The ticket vending machines would still be at major transit centers, so cash is still out there in the community for you to use, but it wouldn't be necessarily collected on the bus. And we would do that over probably an 18-month to 24-month period of really strong community engagement, communicating to people what we were doing, and then probably in 2 years-ish, pull the fare boxes off the bus in lieu of replacing them. That's the general staff recommendation. We could go either direction, and I know that this is a topic that's not just only about dollars and cents, but can also be about, cash as part of our society. Do we continue to have it? So I went through that really fast because I want to respect your time, but I also want to be able to answer questions or just get any feedback you have so that I can communicate to the board, hey, the commissioners are passionate about this or not this, or maybe you don't care. But I didn't want to make a decision. I didn't want us as an agency to make a decision like this without having talked to you and allowed you to weigh in, essentially. So happy to answer any questions.
I guess my biggest question in making this decision, obviously we're always looking for ways to save money, and $2 million is not a small amount of it. So your initial instinct is don't spend the money, have the more affordable route. That said, your data shows that over 17% of your riders are using cash, and my fundamental question is how many of those riders do you lose? How many people simply can't or won't transition from cash to using a credit card or their Laketran account? Because if you lost 1/5 of your ridership, this would be a bad decision. So I don't know if it's possible for you to answer that question with the data you have, but my biggest concern about going cashless is how much of that 17.3% of riders do you lose?
The $200,000 a year in cash sales, is that all collected on board?
Yes.
So that's $200,000 on board. That's not including what you get at the ticket centers and stuff like that.
Correct. That's segregated. We do collect about $12,000 of cash at HQ for our Dial-A-Ride program.
Yeah.
That's not in that number, though.
Okay. I mean, the current kiosks that you have.
Oh, the vending machines?
Yes.
Those just got installed this year, so we don't have good data yet.
But that's in the $200,000 figure, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not getting rid of those. I agree that get rid of the current cash boxes. I mean, I think you pointed out if there's an issue, your service costs have skyrocketed, and that slows down the rides. And so what is the process if this is an issue on there and there's a roll call? Does that eliminate the route?
It depends on what the situation is. First off, the bus doesn't stop running immediately, but someone is sent to investigate what the problem is. Right. One of the challenges is that fare box does print a transfer, and that's especially important if you're connecting to RTA. Yeah. So if that's broken, we usually will replace that bus with a different bus. It'll be brought back, maintenance will review it. If it's a part that accepts cash, we will just put a sort of bag over it, and that route is free for the remainder of that day until the bus comes back to the garage, because it's not necessarily cost effective to switch the bus out for an issue that
So it's free for cash people or everybody?
cash. It usually, if it's free for cash, it's free. We will, if people complain, we make it free for everybody. But if they get on and they tap their card, we'll take it.
I was going to pay cash today. I swear.
Yeah, it's not an easy decision, right? And because Commissioner Plechnik is completely right. You know, could you lose some people? It's certainly possible. You know,
I guess as I math it out, $200,000 is what you're collecting in cash.
Correct.
It's $2 million in theory, right? So let's say that it's not a full $2 million because we're not getting rid of the kiosks, so it's less than the $200,000, right? So we're not getting rid of $200,000. If you eliminated everybody, it's a 10-year until you're hurt, right? A 10-year break even is the same year as a 10-year until you're hurt if everybody leaves. And I think I don't think everybody is peach keen to go over to debit cards and credit cards.
Sure.
But I think that you saw a big portion of your folks are okay switching over to a digital. And listen, I am a man who loves cash. I spend cash, right? Like, I get it.
Sure.
I get frustrated with having to jump through the hoops of an app. I hate it too, right? I get 2 different credit cards, one that ain't gonna touch my bank account, one that if somebody hacks into it, good luck, you're taking the bank's money. I get all that. So I don't particularly care for the electronic society, but to your point, the cash isn't just a cash conversation, although for me, if I was analyzing it, $2 million is about a 10-year break even to justify the investment, because right or wrong, society has moved away from cash payments and gone to digital. There's a disconnect between the amount that you're collecting versus the people who say they're paying by cash, right? I think you were showing on your routes about a third per pay cash, but yet only 17% of your collections is cash. So
right.
Maybe it was your sample size, maybe it was the people you were sampling. I don't know. Either way, the math is about 17% or about $200,000 is coming in. So for me, I guess, great. Get rid of the current boxes because they're clearly a problem. I don't think taking routes down or delaying routes is good. Not to mention free routes probably. I don't know if that solves the problem.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. And so I guess the other thing to touch on is for Laketran is an amazing resource in our community, and one of the reasons it's an amazing resource in our community is what it does for our most vulnerable populations, is providing that transportation. And so my guess is, my concern, if I was continuing to analyze the conversation, would be those folks in our community that need, not just because it's nice or they want, but they legitimately need Laketran. How does it impact them? And my guess is, to your point, you have a lot of partnerships with folks in the community to help those most vulnerable, which probably aren't using cash anyways, because they're not coming out of pocket to some of those services, right?
Yeah, a lot of them, we have different programs and partnerships that help subsidize their fare.
Correct. And that's not cash.
Correct.
So, for me, I guess, I think you have the opportunity for those who are dead set on using cash to be able to use cash. I also think that I know I used to work at a bank. I know the compliance and the manpower and the steps that have to be gone through on handling cash. And so, I mean, if you could not only save the $2 billion out-of-pocket expense, you're probably going to find some efficiencies in not having to have this vault, that vault, this process, that process. The maintenance guy who has to take the box off at the end of each route no longer has to do that job. So that's how, if I was analyzing it in a board member, that's where I would be comfortable in analyzing it. But I do appreciate you coming in on the topic. Right or wrong, sometimes the commissioners get phone calls about anything that happens in the county. And even though this is obviously a Laketran board decision and your leadership decision, I appreciate you updating us. So.
Yeah, I think we'll get criticized either path we take.
Yeah, welcome.
And so,
You don't say.
But that's part of why I thought it was important. I do want to. There was one other thing I should mention, and there is another sort of in the middle choice you could make. You mentioned the discrepancy between the 29% of people that want to use it and the 17% of revenue. One of the reasons is the park and ride fares are much higher, and statistically, those folks are 93%, I believe, cash free already. And so because their fare is higher, it sort of skews that data one way. So we could, in theory, and one of the things we have talked about is we could, in theory, say we're cash free on our park and ride buses, but we could keep cash on local route, which would reduce that initial investment. Still a high initial investment that has a long payoff period. But yeah, it's just sort of a complicated issue that has, I don't know if there's a perfect answer either way, but.
Unfortunately, like it or not, cash is becoming less and less available to use. So
Yeah.
I can't even use paper tickets to go to sporting events. Don't talk about that time. So. Anything else for the good Ben Capel?
The other concern that I've heard about going cashless is making sure that whatever discount someone is entitled to, they have a way of proving that. And making sure, and you mentioned this issue earlier in your presentation as being a little complicated, making sure that they didn't lose their transfers. So I've heard that from a couple of customers, in a world where we shift to a new payment method, they want to make sure they get their discount, they want to make sure that they're able to transfer without losing credit for that. So I know that'll be part of the consideration, but I just wanted to highlight it because I've heard those concerns.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple. We haven't narrowed in on what the solution would be yet for the transfer process, but it's sort of non-negotiable for us there'd be some format to continue that. There's options between some old school tear-offs, which is just a piece of paper that the bus driver tears off. You can get a little printer. There are some different choices, but they would have to be maintained. And for discounts, they should have access to all those electronically at the moment. All they have to do is show an ID, and they would be entitled to whatever discount they could have. So keeping those, I agree with you, is essential to any decision we make.
Well, let's say you had a credit card reader, and they're just tapping their credit card. Would they show their ID to show they're a senior or what have you? How would they verify that? That's something we need to think about.
Yeah, they get a reduced fare card from us, or they can use an ID if they're a senior or a Medicare card. And if they present those, then the driver essentially pushes a button and it can create the proper discount for that customer if they were to just tap. So there is a way to do it.
So whether you're paying cash or credit card, I walk out of the bus, normal rate's $10. I get a 20% discount. I show my card, it's $8.
Yes.
I pay $8 on the tap, or I pay $8 on the cash, right?
Correct. Yeah, maintaining all of those, you're totally right. Maintaining all of those is incredibly important to make sure that if we do decide to go this direction, that there's a way to do that easily.
And I'm not trying to overstep my bounds. I tell you how to budget your sales. But when you go to a digital system, incentivize.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, for the first year or two, as you're putting the app on your phone, get a 10% I'm not trying to erode your sales there, but
yeah.
If you download our app this year or today, you get a 10% discount for it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Or you get a credit for X number of rides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely. The one other thing I would say is beneficial to folks in the digital environment, especially with the app, is we have a thing called fare capping, which means, let's say you're a customer and you ride the bus twice on local fixed routes, you pay the $1.75 fare. If you ride a third time, the amount you pay in individual fares actually exceeds the price of our all-day pass. In the digital environment, it will cap you and it will not charge you more than the cost of that all-day pass, so it automatically will save you money. So there is a benefit to using it, is that the technology is smart enough to say, oh, you should have gotten if you'd bought this up front, you would have gotten a deal, and it caps that dollar amount versus takes that extra money from them. So there is some benefit. That doesn't exactly happen with the tap part, but if you have the app, it is smart enough to say, hey, we're going to give you the best deal we can give you
that sounds
on the
like
system.
That AI technology that Sheriff Lee and Bruno.
And then I did have one other unrelated thing. Have we told them about the grant yet? Am I allowed to?
Go ahead.
Am I allowed to
be clear?
I just want to be sure that it's 100%.
You're on microphone. So
I know. Well,
their breath is not
am I allowed
make this
to? Am I
any
allowed
less
to?
publicly available.
Am I allowed to share that, Jason? Okay. Well, so it's not 100% yet, but we applied for.
He's jinxing us. Here we go.
Well, I'm optimistic, but we applied for a grant on the county's behalf through Dave Joyce's earmark program through Transit. We made it to the absolute final step, for helping send money to jail demolition. So we, as of so far, the amount we asked for was $4 million with a $1 million local match. That's made it all the way to the last step. So if Congress approves the budget, we will also be able to say we secured $4 million for you to help demolish the jail.
Well, I would really appreciate that. If it goes through, it sounds like I got thank yous to give.
We're optimistic.
And if it doesn't, it sounds like I got blame to lay.
We're optimistic. It's at the last step. It made it all the way through Congressman Joyce's process, and it just needs to be approved by all of Congress in the budget. So we're optimistic that it'll go through, and we can hopefully, help, bring more money back from the federal government to Lake County. So
I
want to share some good news.
Well, next time you get optimistic, Suzanne, Ben, Suzanne, go ahead and talk about optimism in the federal budget. So.
Well,
Sorry.
true.
Sorry.
I try to be try to be optimistic.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I hope that doesn't cause any problems, Jason.
No, his sentiment is 100% correct. We're there. I want to thank Ben and Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea.
And from his procurement team, they did a heck of a job on the application. So.
Well, whether we get it or not, we appreciate the work and the effort that you guys have put in, because that has happened no matter what. So.
Yeah. Well, it's just part of being good partners, and hopefully that's a good way to bring some more money back from Washington to local government. So
thank you.
Thank you for letting me talk about fare boxes for probably longer than you all wanted.
So, I appreciate it. So.
I'll stick around if there's any questions.
I'm going to hold on to my paper presentation.
I have spares.
Because I appreciate pieces of paper to get this done, not technology. Okay. Anything else, County Administrator?
I am all good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Clerk?
Yes, the next commissioner meeting is going to be next Thursday, July 30th, and as you had mentioned, at 9 a.m.
Open it up.
9 a.m., not 10 a.m. And also, there is a workshop today after this meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna adjourn into executive session, and then we'll come right back out relatively quickly for the workshop in the session.
Okay, and the last thing I have is we're still looking for an apiary. However, for the fair, Summer was kind enough to make some flyers that we're looking for an apiary that we're going to have at the fair.
Fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. I think I need a T-shirt.
I think you do.
It says we need an apiary to walk around. Or a T-shirt hoodie. Well, yeah, I mean, it has to be a hoodie. All right. Legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Great job. Thank you, sir. Is there any old business? Once again, I said that we would give updates on the dog shelter in the old business section of our meetings. I appreciate, Jason, your comments earlier. I think we are on the right path. I appreciate the partnership with the Lake Humane Society. I appreciate the conversations that we've had with the organization and the contracted relationship we have for those dogs that we have to unfortunately euthanize. I appreciate that dynamic that I think has addressed some of the main concerns as far as the treatment of those animals. So thank you, sir, on that. Any other old business?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
I would just second yours and our county administrator's sentiment that we're grateful to Congressman Dave Joyce for his partnerships with us and bringing funding for the jail, as well as in this unique context with our partnership with Laketran. Certainly grateful to CEO Ben Capel. I see that one of his trustees from Laketran, Dan Crowder, is with us today. We're grateful for their help in this endeavor, because ultimately the goal is to reduce the burden on local taxpayers as much as possible, and this is a very positive step in that direction.
Thank you. All right, is there any new business? Sir, you good? Not new?
See you at the fair.
All right, fantastic. Yes, once again, fair starts Tuesday. And then the 4-H auction that we talk about so much is Saturday, August 1st. Registration starts at, I believe, 11. And then auction starts at 12 for the poultry and small animals, and then the larger animals are at 4. All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session for legal imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Beveridge.
Yes. All right. We are in executive session.